Oakmites. Oakmites. Oakmites.
Things are nasty. Things are nasty. Things are nasty. They cause large swollen areas, little blisters where the bite occurs. Swollen areas, little blisters where the bite occurs. Swollen areas, little blisters where the bite occurs. Oftentimes they get infected, and they last a long time. 2 weeks is not uncommon.
For the past few weeks, I've had bites from an unknown bug or seemingly from nowhere. It's probably from oakmites. And these oakmites have been at an all-time high because of motherfucking cicadas. Oakmites, which usually feed on, obviously, oak trees, they've been at an all-time high because of cicada carcasses. It's also something that they feed on, which is also all up on the oak trees. So, if you want to know what's biting you, the oak mites. And it's an uptick in oak mites because of the cicada carcasses. That's it. Here's some clips.
People all over social media, they've been complaining lately about bug bites that they just cannot explain.
The oak mites are in such abundance this year, and you don't have to be standing under an oak tree to become a victim. The oak mite is microscopic. It can fall under your body from the trees, but really the wind can pick up the mites anywhere, blow them into your yard, blow them onto your body. They can even make it through the screens on your house or through light clothing. Dr. Lee Norman with University of Kansas Health System says the bites can be miserable.
These things are nasty. They cause large swollen areas, little blisters where the bite occurs. Oftentimes they get infected, and they last a long time. 2 weeks is not uncommon.
This is important. While you can't completely avoid oak mites, you can avoid getting bit. They're on your skin about 4 hours before they actually bite, so take a hot shower and wash your clothes after being outdoors. Some important advice also: if you do get bit, do everything you can to avoid scratching those bites. It will just make the itching worse. And oral antihistamine and topical steroid cream can help, and it is important to watch for infection because a secondary
bug or anything, but I sure did feel it.
Smith could open his own drugstore after trying everything he could to relieve the extreme itchiness.
I was miserable. It seemed like it'd never go away.
He finally went to the doctor, who told him others are suffering from the same bothersome bites.
He said he'd seen several people with it, and he knew exactly what to give me.
Experts point to oak trees as a likely source for all the discomfort. The population of a microscopic mite that feeds off the leaves is booming for reasons still unknown.
You know, I haven't seen any in 15 years that I've been here of the oak itch mite.
Brian Jervis works for the OSU Extension Office. He says 2 weeks ago he got at least 24 calls a day about the bug bites.
We hadn't had any bite reports or oak itch mite reports in the last 7 days.
Jervis says bug experts at OSU claim the life cycle of these mites is almost over. A relief to Smith, who has some advice for anyone else bitten.
Don't scratch it. Go see your doctor because it can get infected.
People all over social media, they've been complaining lately about bug bites that they just cannot explain. Some even suggesting that they could somehow be tied to the cicada invasion we dealt with earlier this summer. Fox 5's Gwen Talbert has been speaking with bug experts today. She went to the source to find out why all of a sudden we are itching out of nowhere. And Gwen, I was talking with Sue about this last night because, yeah, bugs love me, but this is not a mosquito bite. It's totally different.
It is totally different. And you know what? It's not only in parts of Virginia, there's parts of Maryland and the district seeing it. We're in Arlington right now with a couple of family members, and they have been having those itchy bites and really affecting them. With me now is Kate Beller and her son, Evan. Tell me, what happened with this family and those bites?
Oh my goodness. So we have a few oak trees in our backyard, and starting a few weeks ago, we just started getting bitten everywhere by bugs we couldn't see. And they are itchy, and they're everywhere.
Now, you have a couple of children, but one in particular they seem to like.
Yes, and this guy, Evan, has been getting bitten all the time. Do you want to show them your bite, honey?
Let's see. Oh, boy.
Can you turn around?
Turn all the way around.
So this is just an example of...
Okay, he doesn't want to show it?
And his neck as well.
Okay, so Evan, has it been really uncomfortable? How did it feel? Was it itchy?
Yeah.
It was? Well, you know what? They have been everywhere. And, you know, let's take a look at some video of some of those cicadas, because we know they were here in full force throughout the entire area. We like them to go away for 17 years, but unfortunately they leave a little bit behind them, and that's been part of the problem. The Arlington Department of Human Services says that they've been consulting experts, the Animal Welfare League even, and it's happened before, but this year it's just a little more prolific. I spoke to Mike Ropp, aka known as the Bug Guy, an expert at the University of Maryland, and here's what he had to say.
Current thinking is that although these particular mites typically feed on these what we call vein gall midges on oak leaves, because of the superabundance of cicada eggs, which are also found in oak trees at this point in time, that they may simply be using the cicada eggs as the food source, generating large numbers of these mites that are then raining down, landing on people's skin, biting, and causing that welt and that prolonged itching. So, number one, don't picnic under oak trees. Number two, if you see flagging branches on those oak trees, but you have to work there, be sure that you launder your clothes, or at least put them in the dryer, and also shower very soon after you get indoors.
And I want to say that Kate mentioned that there are oak trees in her backyard, and that's exactly what Mike was referring to. Stay away from those oak trees. Now, he also mentioned, as did the Department of Human Services, whatever you do, don't scratch them because they could get infected. You can use topical things like you would need normally for mosquito bites and things of that sort. And if it gets really bad, just go to the doctor. What did you do for relief?
I itched. I know I shouldn't have, but we did find hydrocortisone also was really effective. And, you know, over time, it does get better.
So it's getting a little bit better for the kids, too.
Yes. I mean, our kids get bug bitten all the time, but these were much worse. But thankfully, over about a week, it did really start to be more palatable for them.
All right. So, Evan, we need you to stay away from the oak tree in the backyard, okay?
Okay.
Okay. We hope you feel better. Thank you for talking with us. All right. Back to you.
All right, Gwen, a lot of good information there. I think along with the bug doc, I would recommend, because a lot of people that have been dealing with this, because I see it all over our Next Door app out in the Tysons area, is just wearing gloves when you're doing that kind of yard work. And I know that he was a little shy, didn't want to show them, but they kind of almost look like pimples, to be honest. You know, you don't know if you got a pimple, but then it's like itching like crazy. So yeah, it looks like they're with us just for a little bit longer. Thanks so much, Gwen.
Yes.